All right, guys, a little bit different format for today's video. I did have well, you guys always respond to my videos. So I normally always respond in the comments. Sometimes I get hung up, but 99% of the time I respond. Sometimes questions, they're hard to understand through text, right? You don't get the overall feel of what someone's trying to say. So I want to answer one of my subscribers' comments, and he actually wanted to extend it a little bit further, and he reached out through email. So that gives me a little bit more room as far as what he was trying to get across. So I'm going to share that with you today. I asked him if he was fine with me sharing. He said, sure, absolutely. So here we go. I'm a subscriber who enjoys your content and have a topic I'd love to hear your opinion on in a video sometime. So he, like he said, he recently, responded to my video. It says, open question to everyone. Have you ever bought anything with gold, silver? Do you consider it a viable means of exchange? Honestly, I think the answer is no. And he's just putting it out there. It's his honest response. And I applaud that. I always like open dialogue. And so he said he was hoping to start a fruitful discussion, but it didn't go well, which we all know social media, it's sometimes can be difficult. But what I'd like to hear you discuss is, what is your plan to use silver and gold? This sounds simple to hear, but hear me out. I think a lot of people stack PMs without going through the thought exercise of what the end game looks like. So I have been talking about end game quite a bit, and I'm not one who is cradle to the grave as far as my precious metals goes. I've mentioned that quite a bit. I know a lot of us, we don't want to sell it. We treat it as insurance, and I get that. I don't want to sell mine either, but sometimes you buy things you don't like. Sometimes they don't fit your style for whatever reason, and you want to get rid of them. Sure, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with culling your stack. I believe in that. I bought things I don't like, things that I had to learn from, but it makes you a better stacker in the end game, right? So he goes on to say, lots of people stack silver and gold because they expect the dollar to crash. But even if that happens and the monetary system reverts to a commodity system, gold and silver coins, or a representative system, gold-backed dollars, you still probably won't want to spend your gold coins as currency because their face value likely won't reflect their material value. Think about how it would feel if you used the face value of a couple American Eagles to fill your gas tank. You would need to barter or exchange them for readily accepted currency, which may be easier said than done. He goes on to say, so I guess what I would love to know is, what does the end game scenario look like to you? Do you think of gold and silver as money or commodities? How would you use your PMs to make smaller purchases like gas and food? In short, what challenges do you foresee in using a PM stack? I don't necessarily use gold and silver as barter currency. Do I foresee that happening? To be quite honest with you, I don't know. I'm someone who likes to just prepare as much as possible. I'm not like most people here on YouTube. I actually have capital spread out throughout everything. And I like to buy a little bit of everything. This is just a small portion of my portfolio. I have been trying to expand it steadily. Whenever you don't see me buying precious metals, there's a 99% chance that I'm either stacking cash or I'm investing heavily into the market. And I just don't stack precious metals for a doomsday scenario. I know a lot of people do, and there's nothing wrong with that. If it makes you feel comfortable, that's what it's all about. As far as spending gold and silver as face value, I wouldn't do that. And I don't think it's going to come to that. I really don't. I think it's still going to be commodity backed by whatever currency that our nation decides to adopt if the dollar does collapse. I just don't foresee us going back to a gold standard. I really don't. And the thing about it is as much gold as the United States and other central banks around the world have been stacking, I seriously doubt that they will revalue it in a negative aspect towards themselves, right? We have seen a record amount of central banks buying gold, and that's for good reason, right? It is a safety net, and it's not necessarily for currency. We all know gold and silver as real money. It's defined in our Constitution here in the United States as being so, that our money will not be made but anything but gold and silver. And we've all seen, even all the states, they've all come out and they have their own constitutions. They have their own Senate. They have their own House. And so they can adopt whatever legislation that they believe in. And I'm a firm believer in states' rights as well. So I'm trying not to get political here, but I'm just explaining to you my thought process as far as this goes. But for the most part, as far as gold and silver, I really don't think that it is going to be currency, and I just don't think that you're going to lose value. I think over time you're actually going to gain value, and that's why we stack it, right? I mean, that's the whole purpose, okay? And that was the good thing about what President Ford and what President Reagan did. President Ford, he rescinded FDR's executive order, and then he had Reagan, who introduced the Silver Eagle, or the Eagle program here in the United States, which further expanded the process of what stackers are going to be doing. So it just opened up that door, and I just don't see us going to gold and silver as a barter currency. I really don't. I can't predict the future, but I just wanted to give you my thought process on that. You asked for it, so here it is. And I wanted to put it out there for everybody else. And he has no problem with an open discussion. If you want to reach out to him somehow or another, he asked me, I asked him if he was okay with me sharing his address. He said, sure, but I'm not going to do that. But if he wants to respond down in the comment section, I'll pin it. And if you want to have an open, calm dialogue without insulting, that would be much appreciated. I mean, he's just trying to get as much information as he can. And you don't have to insult someone. He's just trying to put it out there, what everybody's thought process, so he can make a better decision for his financial state of mind. And that's what this is all about. That's what gold and silver is for me. I don't believe it to be anything else but a safe haven. That's it. I just don't think I don't invest that way. But if it happens, guess what? I'm ready, right? You're killing two birds with one stone, in my opinion. So that's what it's all about for me. Safety and security. All right. That's going to do it for today, guys. Appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for Sunday. I'll be back. Keep grinding on your stack.